What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. I hope you're all doing well today. And today we are on some MX Simulator. Now, I had a look at the track thread, and this track was released on October the 17th of this year. And it's actually the 2017 version of Anaheim 1 created by Jay. Now, Jay is a bit of an OG in MX Simulator. He comes and goes every now and then. And I know for a fact that his tracks do tend to be a lot more one-to-one scale, which I'm quite excited for because I mean it'll be a lot more tight and twisty, which I really enjoy. What I'm really excited for is just how beautiful this track is. You know, he started working on this way back in 2017, I believe, and as like a preparation track or just practice before he started making the 2018 tracks. And it looks incredible for a track that is actually that old. And massive shout out for him for pulling through and actually releasing it for us. First things first, I do need to get all my settings back. So let's go 83. Let's go to the correct position and unpause, and I play third person. And finally, I mean, I do apologise as well. Up in the top left, I'm not sure if you can see it or if Streamlabs cuts it out because it's like an overlay. We've got a bunch of red writing, which is reshade. So I do actually have reshade on right now at the same time as playing. So the track itself does look great. Obviously, reshade just makes it look that little bit better. And I'm quite happy, actually, because prior to this, I was never able to get reshade working on Sim properly. So it always just looked like a PlayStation 2 game and could never make it look any better. It still isn't working properly because for some reason it doesn't save my presets at all. So I've got to kind of reset everything every time I load up the game, but for the purpose of this video, it's doing a good enough job, and it's absolutely fine. I'm not that bothered. So, interesting fact for you. A lot of you, well, I mean, most of you guys will know that I used to be actually decent at Sim back in the day, but some of you will have no idea. Now, I want to say it might have even been in the 2017-ish season. For a couple of rounds, I was on Jay's team. I think it was just called Jay's KTM, and I was on it. Dennis Fjellberg was on it as well, who some of you might know of. And it was only a few rounds. I can't remember the reason that I dipped out. It might have just been me being younger and being a bit of a team hopper before I found like the English crowd on Sim. I was on a team called Architect for probably for a couple years there, and then we all started playing MX bikes around the same time, and I'm the last surviving one. Everyone else kind of dipped out and started doing other things. There's a little bit of fun trivia for you about Lins, see if anybody remembers that in a couple months time when I for some reason reference it again. But you know what, I'm trying to think back of Anaheim 1 tracks, just trying to get into my head what track this would have been, but I can't for the life of me think about it. I'm trying to think back of all the last Anaheim ones, and what should probably be that 1 year that I wasn't really paying that much attention. But I know Jay as well, so obviously you can see around, this is the actual stadium as well. It's all a perfect replica. And I know that back in the day, Jay was the person in charge for kind of making and getting all the stadiums spot on to real life to get all the replicas for the RF series as well. So it's a very knowledgeable man. Obviously, he made the most popular KTM model back in the day. I believe Jeremy is now the man that does most of them things, but this is all speculation. I really don't get involved too much on the sim community side of things these days. I kind of wish them bales didn't have such strong collisions, because I'm sure I'm going to go into them a hell of a lot. And the reason being really is I feel like I will trigger people saying this in the nicest way possible. I feel like Sim itself has a more of a younger player base overall, and it does tend to get a little bit on the toxic side of things. Is that the nicest? Might be the nicest way of me wording it. I can always, anytime I'll hop in a server, I'll go in under a fake name first of all, because I absolutely hate being punted on this game. Like just people taking you out on purpose, because it literally takes 7 to 10 seconds to respawn every time you crash, and it can get incredibly frustrating. And unfortunately, my name now does have some weight and value to it. So if I do join any server, I'll always get that one person trying to be a dickhead and take me out, which is not fun. So I always tend to go undercover. I'm not going to show off what my naming game is right now, just in case I do want to go and play online at any point. But still, I'll go into servers, and obviously people won't know that I'm in there, and I'll see people hunting people all over the place. A lot of the N-words going around. A hell of a lot of people seem to just have free reign over the N-word, even though I'm pretty sure they don't have the pass. But I don't know. And I think it's just to do with a certain age of people. Obviously, I don't want to generalise everybody in one. You get those people that stand out from the crowd that are a little bit more respectful and mature, which I 100% like and back. but that's why I don't really get too involved in the Sim side of things these days, other than the occasional track video like this. Besides the fact that I'm actually booty cheeks of this game nowadays. Thankfully, where this is a 1-to-1 scale track, there's no like ridiculous massive rhythm sections like quads or fives that you can pull out. I remember I watched a couple of rounds of the 2022 season from the Start Your Systems live streams that Kellen does, and I remember seeing people like Peyton and Alexis Leclerc just absolutely sending some very, very wild lines I could not imagine doing in my wildest dreams. So to have the track like this, which is quite on the small side, absolutely happy days for me. I do not mind all whatsoever, as I just completely go off track saying that. Now, I am on a 450 right here. I've seen on the comments side of things on this track, people aren't too happy with the traction and the scaling. And again, I think that is a movement in the last few years that all tracks seem to be going more towards like tarmac traction, where it's impossible to lose grip and massively overscaled. But obviously, you know me, I like my 1-to-1, I like things to be a bit more technical and challenging. And I kind of look at this track in particular, I have two mindsets in it. First of all, the few laps I've done right now, it feels incredibly fun just for me to sit on and rip laps, you know. I can definitely feel the traction. There's a lot more drag and resistance, so it doesn't let you go as fast as you normally would on any other track on a 450. And you can feel it's a tiny, tiny, tiny bit slippery, but nowhere as near as much as people are making it out to be. You know, I've got no issue with this traction whatsoever. It's really fun, and it makes the 450s actually feel a little bit human. I feel like I can triple through that section at one point as well, because I could actually crash just before the Supercross triple on other tracks, and then just handful of throttle up and over it, no problem, as if the crash doesn't mean anything. So I really like tracks that are a little bit more on the difficult and technical side, which I think Jay is also a big advocate of as well. A lot of his stuff, as I said, tends to be more 1-to-1 scaled and more on the realism. That's me speaking from a one-player perspective. If you used to then go ahead and put 22, I don't know how many people were allowed on the gate in 2017, that many people on the gate on Sim to race against each other, you would probably be in for one of the most frustrating races of your life. I probably would have even less hair left than I do right now. It would be so frustrating. Even in corners like this, like if let's say you get two people go down, realistically, how are you meant to find your way through without hitting their bike and also going down yourself? If there is some way of being able to tiptoe around the inside maybe, then the entire next rhythm section is completely messed up for you. It's not going to be a fun time. Can I triple on here? Oh, I can. Why have I been such a wimp and been checking up and doubling the entire way around? I'm so sorry. I need to get good at this game. But even like the berms there, that berm was really, really small, which is nice. It makes you have to be a bit more smooth and consistent. I reckon you can even triple up and around that corner before this jump as well. But yeah, no, I absolutely love this. This is so good, and unfortunately I don't think there's any more tracks like this in the works from Jay, which is a bit of a shame, but you know what, once in a blue moon, getting something like this is absolutely amazing. You know full well as well that it was a project that he kind of stopped and then just released for us, because the name of the tracking game is purely SX Test 1. Yeah, it's not even 2017 Anaheim, but yeah, thank you very much for getting it out and giving it to the people regardless. You're always going to get them people that hate on something that other people love. You're never ever going to please absolutely everybody. I myself, absolutely massive fan. I might even see if I can get some friends on this as well. I know Rum dabbles in some sim every now and then, even though he's been missing in action the last few weeks. I need to try and work out what on earth he's doing. I'm tempted to force Charlie back on here at some point, although I swear last time I mentioned playing sim with him, he said that he's lost the key and he can't remember what email he bought it from to message JLV to get it back, and he doesn't want to buy it again. So I mean, that's a valid enough reason. But then also, I know I'm going to put someone under pressure here. Chicken wants to learn how to play sim, so maybe I can bring a video for you guys of teaching Chicken how to play sim. That'd be quite nice and refreshing for me to actually be faster than somebody as well, because I'm I'm very washed up at the moment. But regardless, I thoroughly love this track, and I'd be very interested to know your guys' opinions on the sim side of things. What kind of tracks you more prefer? I do definitely think that the smaller and twistier tracks, they're more an old school way of thinking. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not old school by any means. You can see how slow my bike was going there, just wheel spinning from the traction as well. I'm not old school by any means. I started playing this game in 2015. There's people that were around many years before that. But I think in the grand scheme of things, in regards to the current player base, probably one of the older playing people on there. So very interested to know what people think. So not only do I want to know what your favourite or what your style of track you prefer is, maybe you prefer like the FAMMX type tracks where it's wide open everywhere, absolutely loads and loads of traction. Maybe you prefer these tight, skinny technical tracks. Not only do I want to know what ones you prefer, I want to know roughly how old you are as well. And don't take that out of context. That's not meant to be like a kind of sus moment as well. I just want to kind of put 2 and 2 together and know what demographic prefers what style of track. I feel like I've worded that as well as I can without it being hella sus. I'm going to get such bad comments now. Oh god, I hate it. I should not do the internet. I'm not built for it. But I think this is an incredible track. I have no idea how long it took him to put together. I could not imagine a track like this being done every single week to replicate a series, just with the level of detail that's involved. And it's more the texture inside than anything. I mean, the actual terrain height map itself is good, don't get me wrong. It's really good. The berms flow well, the jump face is really nice, the jump transitions are nice, you don't get horrible kicks or anything like that, so very well done in that regards. But it's the textures that really stand out. I've not seen high textures or textures of this quality in MX Simulator before. And as I said, I've been around for quite some time. If you do know of any other tracks that are kind of this level of detail and this beautiful, do let me know, because I definitely want to check them out, especially now that I've got Reshade working. And I'm gonna, I suppose every sim video that I do from now on, I'm going to try and keep this Reshade on, because it just elevates this game's experience for me. That is always the thing that I struggle with on sim, because in terms of actual in-game physics, it's been the leader for the 15 years that it's been out. But of course it's stuck on that OpenGL engine, and the graphics can only be so good. You know, I mean, the best thing that we get most of the time is really high detailed bike models, and if you like zoom in really close to some really well done bikes, they're absolutely stunning. But then you also run the issue of really bad FPS, and I know I've got a bit of a overpowered PC, I want to say, but I think it looks so good. It looks so nice. So very happy to play this, and again, one of them tracks that in my spare time I can fully see myself hopping on and playing, because I guarantee it's been a while since you've watched me play sim. Oh god, I was just about to say, I guarantee it's been a while since you've seen me play sim and just take to a track this easily without wadding myself all over the place. Now don't get me wrong, it's not the most difficult tracks, as I said. With the 1-to-1 scaling, it does make life a little bit easier for you, but I think the traction is suited perfectly for the scaling. Otherwise you'd probably be able to jump entire rhythm sections on a 450, to be honest. But yeah, thank you very much, Joe, for giving this to us, and it was an absolute pleasure to play, and very refreshing as well from the norm that gets released recently. If you guys have enjoyed this video, if I could ask that you do just drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hope you have a lovely rest of the day, whatever you're up to, and until I catch you in the next video, peace.
I'm working hard, I'm sacrificing my life, I'm sacrificing my mind, I'm sacrificing my sanity, but most importantly, I'm sacrificing my time. Boy, I feel fine, I feel like I am a king. Honestly, I can't complain, even with faith that's the size of a grain of some salt, I will still move a mountain and do what I want.